believe. Aquarium thoughts, they drift and they sway like the gentle current at the end of the day. Neon tetra in a shimmering school, peaceful paradise, a calming jewel. Glowing guppies with tails like fire, whiskered catfish, their movements inspire. Drifting bubbles, a mesmerizing dance, lost in the moment, given a chance. Aquarium thoughts, they drift and they sway like the gentle current at the end of the day. Serene angelfish, gliding with grace, a world of wonder in a watery space. The hum of the filter, a constant refrain, a symphony of life, washing away the strain. Worries dissolve in the calming blue. Aquarium magic, just for me and you. Aquarium thoughts, they drift and they sway like the gentle current at the end of the day. Emerald corridor sifting the sand, a miniature river held in my hand. So next time you're feeling stressed and low, just take a moment, watch the water flow. Aquarium thoughts, a calming sight, a little piece of peace beneath the gentle light.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone going? How's everyone going? Good morning, CR Fish. How's it going this morning, Cheryl? Today is Sunday. It's Christmas time. It's the December 21st. This is probably going to be my last stream of the year, mainly because next week I have family plans, so I will be doing that. Just do a little testing here. Yep, that needs to be moved up a little bit. And it didn't quite do what I expected it to do, but it is fine. Let me move this. There we go. Now we can see it. Alrighty. Yeah, I was supposed to speak, but apparently it's not going to speak for me today. But anyways, today is probably going to be my last stream of the year, mainly because I have family plans next week, which is the 28th, and this week is Christmas week, so Merry Christmas to all. But anyways, how's everyone doing? I'm just going to test one other thing out, see if that's working today or not, but let's see. I think it is. And apparently you cannot hear it. I heard it in my thing, but I don't think you guys heard it because I think it's not. Wait, did you guys hear that or no? You're supposed to hear something, but apparently I only heard it in my headset. You see here, let me check my settings today. Yeah, probably because I have this disabled. Let's see here. Let's see if that works now. I hope that works. That should work. Hopefully that works. Let me try that one more time here. But today I will be doing the fishy news, which it's just stuff I found online when I was searching the news. Just fish related stuff, animal related stuff. Let's see if that pops up this time.
Aquarium Thoughts said, "This is Fishy News."
Okay, now we got it working. Okay. but I don't think this is working. No, that's not working. But anyways, I just figure I'll just do the fishing news. I couldn't really had any other plans. So good morning, Jody P. How's it going with the Tropical Fish Co.? Definitely check them out. But anyways, today I'm going to be doing the fishing news. It's just basically news articles I found when I was looking at my news source online. Just stuff that's fish related. A few today I do have that are just animal related. But I will put links down below after the fact in the description. That way, if you want to actually read the articles, you can. I will be doing that after this whole thing goes live. So I figure I figure I gave enough time for people to actually join. So I'll probably will start the fishing news shortly. Although I did get a new embroidered logo. I had to change it up because my other logo was just too complicated. So I kind of took some of the details out. And basically, this is a new hat I got, which says Aquarium Thoughts and has my pistogram on there. So there's that. Anyways, let's get to the fishing news here. I hope everyone's having a great day. So let's go to the first one. Let me get my phone here. Let me get to the first one, which this is basically, I don't need privacy choices. This article is about, this is found on Reuters. I found this one on Reuters. Basically, Cuban scientists raced against time to save fish as old as the dinosaurs. Basically, I mean, problem we have with humans is we typically encroach in all these habitats, we harm them, we destroy them, and basically ends up, or we overfish and ends up basically putting a lot of fish on the endangered list. But right now, this is about Cuban scientists who are racing to save a fish. This comes out of Ciénaga de Zapata, Cuba. I'm probably butchering that city's name. This is from November 24th. I know that I have some older links in here, primarily because it's been a while since I did the fishing news. So this one is about the mosquito-ridden lagoon deep in the Zapata Swamp, which is the Caribbean's largest intact wetland. Basically, it's talking about how it is ground zero for a humble but dedicated restoration effort, which is basically trying to save this fish, which happens to be a jewel among Cuban fishes, according to park biologist Andres Hurtado. Basically, what this fish is a fish we're probably familiar with, or at least a type of fish. It's the garfish. Basically, it's a long slender and its snout is filled with sharp teeth, and it is critically endangered, which is basically it earned its spot on the International Union for Conservation of Nature, which is the IUCN. It's been on the red list since 2020. Good morning, Fish Fam Link. Good morning, good morning. Basically, what is the name of the what's the fish that is endangered? Is it a garfish? It says it was a garfish. I don't know what kind of garfish it was. I did see the actual name on here before. I probably just passed it up, kind of just scrolling through it. This is the it's the Manjuara or Cuban gar. That's what they're talking about here is Cuban gar. Basically, what happened is I guess there was an introduction to invasive species, which was the African walking fish, which basically happens when you introduce foreign fish into other biological areas. This one happens to be, I think, it was the African walking fish. Yeah, see our fish. I got it, the Cuban gar. Yeah, it's the African walking catfish, which is basically a voracious invasive species that ravages the once pristine swamp. And they are pretty much the culprits here. Basically, they're probably outcompeting them for food or outcompeting them for space. But That is the Cuban gar that is endangered. So, I mean, I know that's the one reason why you really do not want to say if you have a fish that you have in your tank, oh, I don't want it anymore. That's why you don't release into your local waterways, because that's one of the ways these fish get into the waterways and harm the biological flora and fauna that you have in your native lands. Now, I'm not sure. I don't think it really. I don't think this article mentioned how the African walking catfish got in there. There's plenty of other ways fish end up in these waterways, whether it's be someone in had it on a ship and it just traveled by ship somehow. I know the Great Lakes had issues with mollusks, which happened to be transferred from basically ocean traveling ships that go into the Great Lakes, which introduced the mollusks there, and that actually did create a. I don't know if it's a big thing now, but I mean, back in the Great Lakes area, they had the issue with the mollusks. I think it was mollusks, something similar to mollusks, anyways, which just travel on ships and then just overtook the Great Lakes. But I'll move on to the next lovely fishy news item here. This is related basically. This is about a fish thought to be extinct for 85 years, happens to reappear in the Himalayan river. This this is actually our article I was thinking about, which is the fish that most of us know, which is the snakehead. This is the shell snakehead, specifically known as the Chana amphipius. I'm probably butchering that name. Sorry. Basically, it hasn't been recorded since like 1933, but apparently scientists thought it vanished, but apparently it did actually reappear in the Himalaya waters, which I know in the U.S. snakeheads are pretty evasive, which is why that's an issue here. But it's not so much an issue when you are dealing with endangered fish that you thought was once extinct. But let me see. So basically, yeah, between 1918 and 1933, researchers collected special. Sorry about the ads here. Uh, collected special species along the Shell River in northern India, according to the initial documentation of it. Let's see here. However, that all changed when three fresh. Okay, so I guess three fresh specimens reemerged back in 2024. So basically, yeah, that's what happens when you have fish. Yeah, some of those shanas are so beautiful. Shame we can't have some of them. Yeah, that is unfortunate because they are a beautiful species. I've seen a lot. I mean, if you look at the picture on this, go back up. That's just a beautiful fish. Unfortunately, that's something that we can't have because just how invasive it is, which led for it to be basically banned in the U.S., which is why fish keepers can't really hold it. But I think they get quite large too, so it's really not something I would actually probably keep. Because as you can see behind me, I have only 2 tanks and they're not quite big enough. Yeah, I'm not quite sure if this is the actual one involved, but that is a beautiful looking snakehead. A lot of the snakeheads are. See. Yeah, it's just amazing how some of these fish they come on they just fly unnoticed. Just amazing. Even in like freshwater rivers and lakes, it's just amazing how they just hide. I know a lot of the oceans are basically unexplored, which just leads to a lot of saltwater varieties that we just don't know about yet. Probably new species and actually new fish altogether probably live down there or wherever that we just haven't explored. Um, but yeah, this species, I guess, according to the article, this species is particularly striking due to its vibrant appearance, featuring bright green scales interspersed with yellow stripes. So maybe that is a, just the depiction of it. But this actually comes this sorry, I didn't mention this before, but this comes from earth.com. And like I said earlier, I will put all the links down in the description later, along with timestamps if you want to go back to these. Yeah, basically, I guess the shell snakehead is basically the largest among the snakehead family too. So they are often elusive and hard to study, which is probably why they went unnoticed. Cheryl says, Jody, look up the fire and ice Chana. It'll be on my bucket list if it was legal. Yeah, I think a lot of the snakeheads would be on my list if I had a big enough tank to hold them, as well as if they were actually legal to keep. Okay. Oh, okay, so it looks like local tribe communities unknowingly became the key to unlocking the zoological mystery. I guess for generations, these communities consumed the shell snakehead without realizing its significance to the scientific world. So it looks like these local communities were actually fishing out these snakeheads and actually eating them, which is surprising for a extinct fish. Speaking of which, let's see here. So it looks like the invasive speed. Let's see here. Yeah. So definitely it's something that they are looking into. Trying to hope that this doesn't go re-extinct again. Let me see here. Fire. Oops. Fire and fire and ice. Let's see here. Nope. Not chains. Let's see here. Is that what you're talking about there? I'm guessing that's what you're talking about there. That is a stunning fish. That is something I wish I could have. But anyways, back to the fishing news. That was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fish. Let's see. Oh, this is actually. Let's see. That's why Cheryl settles for the wild type at a similar look and legal. There you go. Yeah, I mean a lot of the banned fish out there do have counterparts that are actually legal. Yeah, the picture was a little saturated. Yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind when you're looking at pictures online. A lot of them do get basically fixed up and altered, makes it look more stunning than what it actually is. But this is the next article is actually pretty interesting. This comes from something.org, phys.org. Basically, it talks about teeth hurt. It could be because of a 500 million year old fish. What this talks about is just how things have evolved. Basically, it talks about ever wondering about why your teeth are so sensitive to pain, even with cold drinks, that it might be because they first evolved for a very different purpose than chewing 500 million years ago, which is what this study suggested Wednesday. Let me see what they. Okay, this actually came from May. This came from May 25, 2025. So, yeah, this comes from like months ago, but it's basically talking about how the origin of teeth came about. If you basically how I guess teeth evolved. Basically, I guess at first they started as, according to this study, they started as scales on fish and kind of evolved from there. I think I believe in a previous fishy news segment I did, it talked about how researchers were studying the zebrafish or zebrafish, depending how you want to pronounce it, on how they can regrow human teeth. So that's probably where this is kind of related from as well. And this talks about even today, sharks, stingrays, and catfish are covered with microscopic teeth that make the skin tough, rough like sandpaper. Which I just felt this was an interesting story that I came across. But I really don't know the science behind all this and where they link it to humans. So this is just an article I found, which I just found interesting. Basically, I came upon from, I guess, a fossil from the Cambrian period called Anatopolepis. Basically, I guess, seemed to answer what the scientist was looking for. She was looking for. I guess its exoskeleton had pores underneath the ontotodes called tubules that indicate they once contained dentin, which, I guess, if you're familiar with teeth, I guess that's a form of what teeth are made of. But I just found this article interesting. So down the road, you can actually read the article if you are interested and learn more about it. I will put the links down in the description, of course, after the live stream opens. I probably should have did this all beforehand, but what I do like doing on these fishy news things, I do like going down there and time stamping these things. So if there's a certain article you actually want to hear when I'm talking about it, you can just press a timestamp and just go straight to that one. But I just found this was interesting. But let me see here. Yeah, there's a picture of a catfish. Yeah, have nerves. I guess with those teeth, I guess they suggest that the teeth on the scales actually also may contain nerves to actually sense the area around the fish as well, which I guess if it's looking for, say, prey or food, that helps them. But let's see here, just checking something out here. Sorry. Anyways, next on the hit parade is another fishy news article. This one I think is even more interesting in terms of just when you're watching fish, you could see this behavior, and it just kind of puts things in a little bit different perspective. I think the study, I don't know if it applies to all fish, but let's go ahead and open this one up. Basically, this is a study about how it found that for fish, hovering uses double the energy of resting. So I just found it interesting that when a fish hovers, I don't know if any of my fish in there are hovering right now, but I guess it's, let's see. Basically, it talks about, like, yeah, fish make fish make hanging motionless in the water column seem effortless, and scientists have long assumed that this meant that this was a type of rest. However, a new study basically revealed that the fish use nearly twice as much energy when hovering in place compared to resting. Which I don't know what they consider resting as a fish. I don't know if it's just resting against something in the water or whatnot. Let's see here. Basically, the study details the biomechanics of the fish hovering, which includes constant subtle fin movements to prevent tipping, rolling, or drifting. Basically, it describes how the more robust understanding of how fish actively maintain their position can inform the design of underwater robots or drones facing similar challenges. So I guess they're actually using the study to actually improve our technology that we use as humans. Like if you're in like a sub or like a drone, maybe, that I guess it's trying to learn better energy conservation for just those things as well. Not just how. So basically, we're using nature to basically fine tune our own technology using this study, which I find interesting. This was published. The findings were published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Oh, by the way, this article comes again from phys.org, which is phys.org. Basically, basically what the study did. It overturned the long-standing assumption in the scientific literature that maintained that a stationary position in water is virtually effortless for fish with swim bladders. Which, I mean, if you see a fish hovering, you can kind of see how it kind of has like different kind of fin movements, which kind of, I'm kind of looking back at it, kind of surprised that it took a while for people to actually realize that's what's happening. That fish, of course, are using more energy to actually use it. See, apparently, prior research from lead study author and Scripps marine biologist Valentina Di Santo found that the energy required for skates to swim at various speeds did follow a distinct U-shaped curve, with slow and fast swimming requiring the most energy and intermediate speeds being the most efficient. Okay. I guess based on those findings, she suspected that there might be more to hovering than what you could actually see. But that's interesting. Once again, you can read the article online. I'll put the links down below. Let's see here. Go back to bookmarks here. This next one actually comes from a. This is actually local to me, which is I found interesting because it just popped up my feed. Not really as a local news item, but I think it just came up as being a fish-related item. This talks about a high school down in Huntington Beach. This comes from a Huntington Beach high school where shelter endangered steelhead trout, which I found interesting. This is actually, let me see, I think this happens, I think the name of the high school is Edison High School. Basically, it talks about how the southern steelhead trout has been low in numbers in recent years. And it talks about how Edison High School is helping by actually housing these fish. I guess they have a couple large tanks to house them, which I guess is getting people in high school starting with the conservation efforts to actually make sure we're not letting these fish go extinct, which I did find interesting in that fact that they're actually going as early in as high school, which is a nice high school program to have, especially if a high schooler does plan to get into marine biology. I know there's a college that actually does have a marine. It's actually a community college that actually has I don't know if it's marine biology or just fish biology or not, but there's one down, I think, I forget the name of the college, but they do have actually an aquarium, and they talk about how they actually have a program to learn about fish and stuff like that as well. But I wonder if that's co-related to this or not. I'd have to read the. I don't think I caught that in the article. But basically, this new system is actually funded by the Resource Conservation District of Santa Monica Mountains through a CDFW grant. And it looks like they have basically. I guess that grant is supposed to protect up to 650 trout rescued from the creeks that were impacted from drought, wildfire, and debris flows, which I just find interesting that this is actually having done as low as the high school level, which is good because it does get just give these high students in high school, it gives them the opportunity to actually see what a career path is rather than just waiting for college. Because I know when I was in high school, I had no clue what I was going to go towards. And when I was in high school, we really didn't have these programs in school. It was either, okay, you learn like biology, chemistry, physics, but you really had no like kind of career path in high school back when I went, or at least in the district I was in. I know my boys, their high school does have these kind of programs, not technically related to like biology, like marine biology. I know my kids' school, they have basically they have like computer science, they have engineering, mechanical design, that kind of stuff, which I think is a good pathway for these high schools. And apparently this one, I guess this high school is going more towards marine biology, which is good. Okay, yeah, they do mention the colleges. One is Orange Coast College, which is the one I was referring to, which is a community college local to me, and they also talk about Cal State Long Beach as well, which I know if you watched the my video, I think it was on the LA Pet Fair. You had the Shark Lab there. That's the college that the Shark Lab was part of, which was Cal State Long Beach, which they have a program there for marine biology called the Shark Lab, which kind of correlates to previous videos on my channel, surprisingly enough. It's just something good to actually see in the news. But so yeah, they're gonna have 2 large holding tanks. while water cleansing system ensures that they are safe until a new habitat can be found, which is good because it also teaches. I hope that they're also teaching the high schoolers on how to work that filtration system as well, not just how to just maintain the fish. Which I'd be interested in how they actually go through the process and what they teach, which is interesting. But yeah, that's just interesting. Now I think I think the next one is kind of, it's not really fish related, but actually, no, this is fish related. Because if you're familiar with the Mabunas and the African rift lakes, this is probably this might have popped up in your screen as well. This this is actually from IFL Science. This keeps on popping up on my feed some reason. This is just talking about how Africa is splitting into two continents and a vast new ocean could eventually open up, which I just found interesting because this talks about the East African Rift, which is basically where the Lake Tanganyika, the Lake Victoria, Lake Manali happen to be within. So in about like 5 or 10 million years, not that we're going to be around for it, we might not see those lakes anymore. Once again, that's like 5 or 10 million years down the road. But I just found this interesting. It kind of relates to fish I've had. Uh, I'm not going to talk more about this because this really isn't that much fish relation. So I just found this interesting that it actually is in regards to that whole area down there. But before I move on to the next one, I'm going to get myself some drink. My throat is getting a little dry with all this talking, so I will be right back. All right, I am back. I am back. I am back. I got myself some iced tea here. That way, I stay properly hydrated. I probably should be drinking water, but anyways, this next one. All right, let's do this one. This next one is once again isn't fish related as much as it's just something that is happening in the U.S. Basically in terms of wildlife. Um, Basically, it's conservation efforts, which also kind of correlates to actually conservation efforts in fish, which is something we should be probably focusing a lot on. Which a lot of people, there's a lot of groups in the aquarium that does focus on this. This actually comes from AccuWeather.com. This is just talking about how the largest wildlife overpass in North America opens across 6-lane interstate. This talks about a overpass over in Douglas County, Colorado, which is spanning Interstate 25 and connects 39,000 acres of habitat, allowing a bunch of animals like elk, deer, bears, mountain lions, and other animals cross safely, which is something that happens when you build large freeways that span and divide habitats. Um, I know near me there used to be this freeway exit. Uh, Basically, it used to be a freeway exit, which really it just led to, I guess, one person's house or area. I don't know. I mean, it was basically an exit to nowhere. It was just an exit that basically could exit out, but you really just the only other option is either re-entering the freeway or entering the freeway going the opposite direction. Which what happened there is they did actually turn into just a wildlife corridor. They didn't fill the hole. They just left the hole there. They took out the pavement, and they just turned it into a wildlife corridor, which allowed animals to bypass the freeway and allowed them to get from one habitat in the Chino Hills State Park area, which allowed them to go over into the Cleveland National Forest, which is on the other side of the freeway. It allows animals to cross forward and back, which was nice. It's a nice conservation effort. That way, you don't get these two distinct areas where you don't have. And another thing that they found on here was it actually prevented animals from trying to cross the freeway and getting hit by cars. That's basically what this talked about. They also talked about how, let me see here. Let me see where I saw it. And basically, they talked about how prior to construction, the area averaged about one wildlife vehicle crash per day during peak fall and spring migration seasons. I guess that reduced. They reduced the crashes by 90%, which is always a good thing. So I guess it changed from having like probably 365 vehicle crashes with animals to probably like 36 of them for the year, which is a substantial change, I think. But yeah, there's also another one being built in California as well, which is basically it's across the US 101, which goes up towards for me goes up to San Francisco, kind of, sort of. But anyways, let me see if I can get one more fish related one before I head out. I do have things to do this morning, and let me see here. Let me pull it up. Go back to bookmarks here. Let me see if I can find one other news article to actually go that actually. Yeah, let's do this one. This actually goes again, went back to the whole hey, we thought that was extinct kind of thing. Basically, this is actually from phys.org again, which is phys.org. Basically, this is a rediscovery of a lost fish species, which does provide it a second chance for conservation. Let's see. This talks about the Momema claudia. I am going to butcher these names. I apologize. I'm sorry. This is basically a seasonal killifish in Bolivia, which was basically thought to be possibly extinct. This does provide a conservation effort that could basically end up reintroducing. I know I was reading, not reading, I was listening to Mexicali Fishkeeper's podcasting where he interviews people, and I think he was talking about how with the CARES kind of program, which is another program in the aquarium hobby, on how much documentation they actually require. So it's not a simple thing of just oh, here, let's grab these fish, let's put them in an aquarium and actually raise them up and reintroduce them. I guess there's a lot more behind it. So it is complete science behind it as well, which I found was interesting. But anyways, yeah, this was published in a journal, Nature Conservation. This is the first record of species in more than 2 decades, which enabled scientists to take the first ever live photographs and observe its behavior, which I always liked. I always kind of like these stories, which, oh yeah, we thought this fish was extinct, and now it's not, which I just find interesting on that. But please, in the comments below, please let me know what you think about these fishy news articles. Definitely, when you get a chance, go ahead and read these stories. If you have a chance to also read these stories, give me your input as well in the comments below as well. I'm assuming if you're watching this right now, you're probably watching the rewatch. That's what I'm talking about. Actually, read the stories and put the comments in the rewatch area and let me know what you think of these. Anyways, I'm going to head out. I'm going to do some things. I have some cleaning to do because my oldest boy has some of his friends coming over. So I do hope everyone has a great holiday season. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year as well. So anyways, I'm going to be heading out. So let me make sure I hit the right button here. What button am I supposed to be hitting here? I think it's either this one. Yeah, it's this one right here. I should probably hit this already, but anyways, I want to thank everyone for joining. I want to thank CR Fish for dropping by. I want to thank Jody P with Tropical Fish Co. from stopping by. I appreciate you watching, as well as everyone actually watching the replay as well. So definitely have a great day, night, or whenever you're watching this. And I'm just going to let this Reddit scroll. That basically something new I have. Basically recognizes all of the lovely participants in my stream. I do appreciate you guys. I appreciate you for watching. And yeah, definitely have a Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. And I'll see you next time I stream. I will be still releasing a few videos in the meantime, so definitely watch those. And I'm going to head out. So bye.